Arsenal are at the top of the Premier League right now, but January can decide everything. And this isn't because you win the window and then win the title. This is because the January transfer window offers an opportunity to plug a leak, add a game changer, add a solution, another dimension. And then all of a sudden, those narrow 1-0s, those tight late fought games are a thing of the past. And the key part of this is that Arteta himself even said this: the window is there. We're Arsenal. Now we have to be looking at it. Correction. We have to be actively looking. And this is mainly because throughout the entire season, we've had injuries to a lot of different players. We've managed it well. We're still top of the league, top of the Champions League, into the Carabao Cup semi-final. Things are going well. But to ensure Arsenal win the title, some additions might be necessary. So today, I'll be giving you 3 realistic January transfers for Arsenal that will tilt the title race even more in Arsenal's favour. And these 3 signings have nothing to do with hype. This is all about ensuring we get the title in a season where we look favourites and frankly, is asked to lose right now. The first signing, Rodri. No, not him. He plays for Elche. He's like 20 years old. And this signing is the most gettable of them all. Gettable? Attainable? Achievable? He's the most realistic. He's press resistant. He's tidy on the ball. Great feet, great technique. He can play as an 8 and a number 6. This is the profile that a lot of clubs need. Now, the one reason why he's realistic, especially in January, is because he has a release clause of just 20 million euros. So this isn't a case where you're negotiating for weeks, other teams come in, there's bids all over the place, and all of a sudden there's a player worth 70 mil. None of that. 20 million euros for a 20-year-old midfielder who's been compared to the likes of Pedri and Yuri Tillemans, I think is a sensational move. This is a pay the number and get that player type of deal. So okay, we know his profile, we know his price, he's very cheap, very easy, but why is he good for Arsenal? Right now, in January, Arsenal play 9 games with an average rest of about 3 days. Champions League football, a Carabao Cup semi-final, FA Cup and the Premier League. And with that, midfielders' minutes are going to pile up. Injuries become more likely. Rodrigo Mendoza, he gives you a great rotational option that is safe in possession and can also progress the ball forward. As well as this, he's a player who can sit in the pockets. He can actually navigate from tight spaces and help you hold on to the lead and defend both boxes. Now, if you compare Rodrigo Mendoza to names that Arsenal fans know, this is where it gets interesting. Because you could say, if we want a young midfielder, why not get Ayoub Bouadi from Lille? Don't get me wrong, he is a massive talent. But for January, just a bit infeasible. And this is because Lille have tied him down to a new contract which expires in 2029, which means that when it's time for Lille to sell him, they're definitely going to command a hefty fee. Something that Arsenal are just not going to part ways with in January. If you look at someone like Lucien Agume at Sevilla, who I even said that Arsenal should potentially look at last season, he's more of a duel winner, a ball winner, someone who's going to go to ground with all the tackles. And frankly, I think Rodrigo Mendoza is better in terms of an all-round player and an all-round option for Arsenal than Agume. In title races, the margins are game state management. Rodrigo Mendoza allows Arsenal to turn chaos into control. And that is how you stop dropping points in those banana skin type of fixtures. Guys, as I'm going along on this list, be sure to comment down below and let me know, are my picks valid? Is my reasoning valid? Or is there someone else that's more of a realistic signing for Arsenal? Number 2, Davide Bartesaghi from AC Milan. Now, this player is probably the least sexy of all of the profiles that we're talking about, but he's the most important. Now, Sky Sports have already reported that Arsenal's January planning has repeatedly pointed at injuries testing depth, and Bartesaghi is one of those specific names that they say Arsenal has on the top of their list. And I'm not going to lie, it makes sense to add yet another defender to Arsenal's ranks. Now, the only challenge with this is that he's actually extended his contract to 2030, which means Milan could actually command a hefty fee. So this is unlike the Rodrigo Mendoza deal. You are not going to buy him cheap, but it doesn't actually kill the deal. In the summer, we did something that I think we should do again, a loan with an option to buy. However, on the flip side, if Arsenal really think he's a top talent, then by all means, I don't think he's going to cost, upwards of like 60, 70 million. Transfermarkt has his value at just around 18 million euros. And with the latest extension of his contract, I think a fee of around 35 million should get the deal done. In the title race, sure, you might be able to survive an injury crisis for a month. But what you can't survive is it becoming a repeating part of your identity. It can't be the story for Arsenal's season. He's a left-sided defender who's proven to be more than capable defensively and also providing a bit of threat going forward. And when I say this, I'm talking about more consistency in the build-up play, in that rest defense as well. He's shown that he's capable when it comes to sitting back and allowing the rest of the team to flow and also do his job. These are things that stop these late equalizers, these late chaos moments that we've seen in the season so far. And with Calafiori out injured, I think Bartesaghi would be a very good option. And one of the reasons why I'm voting for a left back as a signing that Arsenal should make is because I want to see Miles Lewis Skelly in midfield. And weirdly enough, I think that's the reason why he's not playing as much. But we can talk about that in another video. Now, there were other names that I did think of, such as, Honest Ahano at Atalanta, a very, very good young talent at 17, and Joel Ordonez at Club Brugge. Again, a very good defender. He's quite young. He can play in multiple positions across the back line. But I think Bartesaghi is probably the best fit out of all of them, and maybe even the easiest to get. And let's remember, in January, reliability and consistency is everything. And this is the reason why some of the players I'm suggesting aren't the headline names. They're not flashy names that are commanding heavy fees. These are players that I think will come in, do the job, and show consistency. If you guys are enjoying this video, be sure to absolutely smash a like button. You guys have been going crazy. The target for today's video is 150 likes. If you can get that, that will be sensational. Let's get back to the video. And lastly, the winger that's going to cause chaos and bring bags of electric pace to Arsenal's attack, Jean-Mattéo Bahoya from Frankfurt. And this is where we hit the need for another young winger. And funnily enough, I don't think this is necessary for January. This is like a ideal situation where we tick off all three things. But I can understand everyone is probably saying, what about Antoine Semenyo? Well, by the time this video comes out, Semenyo would have played yesterday against Arsenal, which could very well be his last game for Bournemouth. Now, don't get me wrong, the Arsenal links are there. He's even an Arsenal fan himself. But according to various media outlets, City are closing in, and it's a release clause situation. So as soon as City pay that number, it's down to the player. So that transfer looks like it's out of Arsenal's hands. Now, the reason why I say this option might not be as necessary as the first two is because with a young winger, it's going to command a fee. I could have said someone like Bradley Barcola, who would be very expensive. I could have also hinted at Kevin Schade at Brentford, but Brentford definitely will not sell in January unless it's a ridiculous offer. And this is the same situation with Yandy Omandi at Leipzig, and even Cologne's young new talent, Said El Mawi, who's frankly taking the Bundesliga by storm this season. But the reason why I like Bahoya a lot is because he is absolutely explosive in transition. He's a winger that can start wide and then attack inside. He's actually perfect when it comes to those situations where we're trying to move away from playing every single ball and every single attack down the right-hand side. He's also a player that by his profile doesn't actually have to start every single game. He can come in off the bench for Martinelli or Trossard. He can be that late threat in games that are very, very tight. In games where the low block is being very stubborn and we need something, threaded ball in behind, long ball over the top for a winger to chase. Bahoya is that guy. Now, like I said, if it was the summer, I would have said a different name. I probably would have said Kenan Yildiz or maybe Rafael Leao. But in January, the most realistic winger that we could sign looks like Bahoya. And with this transfer, it's not just adding another winger to the books. This is more about changing the way teams defend against Arsenal. And one of the reasons why teams feel comfortable sitting in that mid and low block against Arsenal is because they know we don't have bags of pace. You add a young, pacey, electric and hungry winger to the mix, and all of a sudden, those mid blocks become useless. And this is a bit of a sub mention, but it also helps out a lot of Arsenal's other wide players because now they're getting more space. Now we're seeing that we can open up teams in another way. Martinelli gets a bit more space on the left-hand side, so does Saka and Madueke on the right-hand side. This transfer could potentially change things for Arsenal in games where they need it the most. And here's my logic to all three transfers. With Rodrigo Mendoza, Arsenal have another option in rotation that actually allows the quality to stay at a similar level. With Bahoya, it adds another attacking gear for Arsenal, someone that can actually make things happen with balls in behind. And then lastly, with Bartesaghi, this is another young option that provides quality in depth, but also assuredness in his ability on what he can offer week in and week out. And the one key thing that encapsulates everything I've said in this video is that Arteta himself said he's actively looking. And he's asked himself two questions. What do we need? And can we do it or not? So if they pick the right three players, the right three profiles, this doesn't ensure you win in January. This ensures you win in May. But now I'm turning it to you. Who is one player out of the three players I've mentioned, Bartesaghi, Rodrigo Mendoza, and Jean-Mattéo Bahoya? If you had to pick one as a title clincher, who would it be and why? As well as that, be sure to drop all your alternatives. If you think we should go for Buadi, I've heard some people say that we should get Mark Gahey even. Let me know all of it in the comments down below. Don't forget to smash a like on this video if you enjoyed it and hit the subscribe button to join MB United. Guys, 2026 is here and there is a lot of content coming. So with that being said, make sure you hit the notification bell to know exactly when I upload. But before we go, there's gonna be a video popping up right here on screen that I think you're gonna enjoy more than this video right here. So make sure you give that a watch, and until next time, keep it real, and I'll see you when I see you in a bit.